Let me tell you something right now. The only thing standing between you and a life you dream about is belief. You don't need more talent. You don't need more money. You don't need more money. You don't need more friends, more luck, or more followers. You need to believe in who you are and who you're becoming. People are gonna doubt you. They're gonna laugh. They're gonna walk away. They're gonna say, oh, you're not built for this. And guess what? That's okay, because what they think doesn't matter. What matters is what you believe when you look in the mirror. Let me ask you something. Do you believe in your dream enough to fight for it? Do you believe in your vision when nobody claps for you? Do you believe in your purpose when everything goes wrong? You say you want success, but belief is the first price you gotta pay. You can't build an empire with a slave mindset. You can't expect royalty results with peasant belief. You gotta believe you're worthy of winning. You got to believe you're called for greatness. You got to believe you're already equipped. Let me be real with you. Some of you quit not because it was hard, but because you didn't believe it was possible. Some of you gave up on the vision because it didn't happen fast enough. And deep down, you didn't believe you were good enough anyway. But belief is what allows you to hold the line. Belief is what carries you through the valley. Belief is what makes you dangerous when the enemy thinks you're finished. I believe when I was homeless. I believe when I was eating out of trash cans. I believe when nobody picked up the phone. And guess what? That belief got me here. That belief made me a legend. That belief is what keeps me hungry. So today, don't you let another second pass where you doubt who you are. Don't you let another minute go by believing the lies people told you. God didn't make you to survive. He made you to soar. And the first step to fly is to believe you were made to. Let the world doubt you. Let them overlook you. But make a vow today. I will never doubt myself again. I will never talk down to myself again. I will never bury my dreams in fear again. Because now I believe. And that changes everything. Belief is the foundation of all achievement. You can't build success on self-doubt. This truth isn't just motivational fluff. It's the bedrock principle behind every major success story. Whether we're talking about inventors, athletes, entrepreneurs, or everyday people trying to overcome life's toughest battles, belief is what separates those who win from those who wonder, what if? You see, success isn't about having the most money, the best connections, or the highest IQ. Those things might help, sure, but none of them matter if you don't believe you can win. That's why the most dangerous person in the room isn't the strongest, smartest. It's the one who believes they can't lose. Because belief fuels action. Belief gives you the strength to show up when others quit. Belief is what gets you up at 4 a.m. when your body says no, but your purpose says, let's go. Look around. Everything you see was once an idea. Someone had to believe in what didn't exist yet. The phone in your hand? Someone believed we could connect wirelessly across the globe. The car you drive? Someone believed humans could move faster than horses. Every invention, every breakthrough, every champion started with belief. Somebody somewhere said, why not me? While everyone else was saying, that's impossible. And that's the problem most people have. They don't believe enough. Not in the world, not in the system, not in their team, but worst of all, not in themselves. And when you don't believe in yourself, your life reflects it. You start playing small. You start shrinking in rooms you were born to own. You stop taking risks because you already convinced yourself you're going to lose. And let me tell you something. When your mind is filled with self-doubt, your hands stop building. Your feet stop moving. Your heart stops dreaming. People don't fail because they lack ability. Most of the time, they fail because they lack belief. They fail before they even try. They disqualified themselves. They told themselves, I'm not smart enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not worthy. They looked at their past and let it define their future. But hear me on this. Your past doesn't write your destiny. Your belief does. If you believe you're a failure, guess what? You'll find ways to prove it. But if you believe you're chosen, if you believe you're capable, if you believe you're enough, you'll start moving different. You'll start fighting harder. You'll start rising faster. And belief isn't some magical feeling that just appeared. It's something you train. It's something you build, just like a muscle. Belief grows when you work it. When you wake up every morning and choose to believe, even when things look bad. When you get back up after getting knocked down and still say, I can do this. That's belief in action. You think the legends of this world had it easy? You think Eric Thomas just woke up motivated every day? Nah, he had to believe when nobody else did. Homeless, hungry, overlooked, and he still believed. He believed it was more than his circumstances, more than his past, more than the labels people threw on him. That belief turned pain into power. That belief turned a nobody into a voice that now inspires millions. Because when you believe, your vision becomes louder than your environment. And the flip side is true too. Self-doubt is a thief. It robs you of opportunities. It makes you settle for less. It whispers lies that sound like truth. It tells you when you're not ready, when you've been preparing your whole life. It tells you you'll fail before you even try. And if you listen to those lies long enough, they become your reality. But not anymore. Not for you. Because today you make a decision. No more self-doubt. No more talking yourself out of greatness. No more letting fear win. From this moment forward, you choose believe. You choose to see yourself the way God sees you, fearfully and wonderfully made. You choose to walk like a winner, speak like a warrior, and work like a champion. And hear me, belief doesn't mean you won't struggle. It doesn't mean the road gets easy. It means you trust yourself through the storm. It means even when the results don't come right away, you keep grinding because you know they will. It means you take the risk, even when the reward isn't guaranteed. Because belief isn't based on what's happening around you. It's based on what's rooted inside you. Let me get real with you. There will be days you doubt. There will be moments you question your path. That's human, but you can't stay there. You can't live in that doubt. You gotta shake it off and remind yourself of who you are. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Put it on your wall. Surround yourself with people who feed your belief, not your fear. Protect your mindset like it's your most valuable asset. Because it is. When you believe in yourself, you stop waiting for permission. You stop needing validation. You stop asking, am I good enough? And start declaring, I was built for this. You become unstoppable, not because you're perfect, but because your belief makes you resilient. You take hits and keep moving. You lose and keep learning. You fall and keep rising. That's what belief does. It makes your spirit unbreakable. The truth is, the world is waiting for you to believe. Your next level is waiting. Your breakthrough is waiting. But it can't show up until you do. So, what are you waiting for? Stop playing small. Stop dimming your light. Stop treating belief like an option. It's the foundation. It's the fuel. It's the first brick you lay before you build your legacy. So today I need you to make a vow. I need you to promise yourself, from this day forward, I will believe. I will believe in my voice. I will believe in my vision. I will believe in my value. And no matter how hard it gets, I will not quit. Because I was born to win and I refuse to let doubt steal my destiny. Believe in yourself, even when nobody else does, especially when nobody else does. Because the moment you truly believe is the moment everything begins to change. What you believe about yourself becomes your reality. Speak greatness into your life. This truth is powerful beyond measure. The words you speak to yourself, the thoughts you allow to take root in your mind, and the image you hold of yourself inside are shaping everything you experience on the outside. You are literally building your life from the inside out. Your belief system is the blueprint, and your reality is the construction. What you tell yourself consistently becomes the foundation for how you move, how you react, how you grind, and how far you go. The problem is that most people don't even realize how destructive their self-talk is. Every day they look in the mirror and speak defeat over themselves. I'm not smart enough. I'll never make it. I don't have what it takes. They walk around carrying the weight of other people's opinions, past failure, and limiting beliefs. And slowly, without even realizing it, they begin to live those lies out. They start shrinking, hiding, and playing it safe. They stop dreaming because somewhere along the way they stop believing. And when belief dies, so does destiny. But let me tell you something. It's not the world that holds you back. It's your inner dialogue. It's not the haters, not the critics, not even the obstacles. It's the voice in your head that says, you can. That voice is the most dangerous enemy you'll ever face because it knows exactly where your weaknesses are. It knows how to trigger your insecurities. And unless you confront it, silence it, and reprogram it, it will sabotage you every single time. That's why you have to learn how to speak greatness into your life. You have to become your own biggest fan, your own loudest cheerleader, your own best motivator. You have to speak words that elevate your spirit, challenge your excuses, and declare your worth. When you wake up in the morning, you need to speak like a king or queen. You need to affirm who you are and who you're becoming. I am powerful. I am chosen. I am prepared. I am focused. I'm unstoppable. These aren't just cute phrases. These are declarations of identity. They are reminders to your spirit that you are not ordinary, that you are made for more. Now understand it. Your mind is always listening. Every thought, every word, every belief you repeat becomes a message that programs your subconscious. If you constantly tell yourself, I'll never lose weight, guess what? Your body will respond to that belief. If you say, I can't run a business, your decisions will reflect that mindset. If you whisper, I'm always broke, your behavior will follow that expectation. You literally become the story you keep repeating. That's why you need to be intentional about the script you're writing for your life. You need to take back control of your narrative. Stop letting your past write your future. Stop letting failure have the final word. Stop allowing fear to sit in the director's chair. Instead, speak life. Speak purpose. Speak victory. Even if you don't feel it yet. Even if it hasn't manifested yet. Speak it until it becomes real. Speak it until your actions catch up. Speak it until your environment begins to align. Because here's the thing. Greatness doesn't start on the outside. It starts with a decision. A mindset, a belief. You think champions were born champions? No. They became champions the moment they believed they could be. Before the trophies, before the applause, before the spotlight, they made a choice to believe in their greatness. And that belief changed everything. That's why it's so important to guard your mind. Protect your environment. Surround yourself with voices that build you up, not break you down. If the people around you constantly speak negativity, doubt, and fear, it's going to infect your thinking. You can't afford to be casual with your belief system. This is war. This is spiritual warfare. You gotta be deliberate, disciplined, and bold about what you allow in. Your belief determines your energy determines your execution, and your execution determines your results. It all goes back to belief. If you wanna change your life, change your thoughts, change your language. Change the way you see yourself. Begin to envision yourself as the person you're meant to be, not the one you've been conditioned to accept. If you wanna level up, your self-talk has to level up first. And this isn't just about success. This is about identity. This is about reclaiming your power. Too many people have forgotten who they are. They've been labeled by society, wounded by trauma, paralyzed by rejection, but deep down they know they were made for more. That's why something inside them keeps whispering, don't quit. That's belief trying to come alive again. That's greatness trying to rise. That's your inner warrior saying, there's still more in you. So today, stop speaking like a victim. Stop thinking like a failure. Stop dressing your speech in fear and start declaring who you really are. Speak like a person of purpose, a person of power, a person of passion. Don't wait for the world to validate you. Validate yourself. Don't wait for a perfect moment to believe. Create one. Don't wait for motivation to speak life. Speak life until motivation shows up. You have authority over your future. You have the power to shift your atmosphere. But it starts in your mouth. Life and death are in the power of the tongue. Speak life. Speak hope. Speak healing. Speak open doors. Speak peace. Speak confidence. Speak discipline. Speak transformation. Speak as if your words are shaping you tomorrow, because they are. And let me tell you, when you start speaking greatness consistently, something incredible happens. You start walking different. You start working different. You start choosing better. You stop tolerating less. You begin to attract opportunities. People start to notice the glow. Your mindset elevates. Elevate. Your habits shift. And the world starts to respond to the frequency of your faith. But this isn't a one-time thing. This is a daily commitment. Every morning you wake up, you've got to choose belief. You got to choose positivity. You got to fight off every lie that says you're not enough. You've got to drown out the noise of the world with the sound of your inner greatness. You got to wake up and say, today I speak victory. Today I speak purpose. Today I speak abundance. Because the truth is, you're not average. You were never meant to be. You were born to be bold. You were created with purpose. You carry greatness in your bones. But it won't manifest until you believe it and speak it. No more small talk. No more negative affirmations. No more settling for less than your calling. It's time to speak like a king. Speak like a queen. Speak like a warrior. Speak like a believer. Because what you believe about yourself becomes your reality. And it's time your reality starts reflecting your greatness. You don't need others to believe in you. Your belief must be strong enough to carry you alone. That's one of the hardest lessons life will teach you. Because the truth is, people won't always see your vision. They won't always support your dream. They won't always clap when you win. And they certainly won't always show up when you lose. But guess what? That's not their job. It's yours. Your belief in yourself has to be so strong, so rooted, so unshakable that even when the room is empty, the crowd is silent, and no one sees your potential, you still rise. A lot of people wait. They wait for support. They wait for validation. They wait for someone to say, I believe in you. They wait for a sign, a confirmation, a green light. But life doesn't work like that. If you sit around waiting for approval, you'll miss your moment. Because sometimes the world doesn't recognize greatness until it's undeniable. Sometimes people don't show up until the lights are already on. And sometimes you gotta walk through the fire alone before anyone even acknowledges your flame. That's why you can't base your belief on other people. People are inconsistent. Their opinions change. Their support is conditional. One day they'll cheer you on. The next they'll question your decision. That's why your belief has to come from within. It has to come from a place that's deeper than applause, deeper than praise, deeper than anyone's perception of you. It has to be rooted in your purpose, your calling, and your personal conviction that you were created to do something special. Think about it. All the greats, the pioneers, the innovators, the world changers, they didn't wait for people to believe in them. In fact, most of them were doubted, ridiculed, and rejected before they ever made it. But they believed. They believed when it was just a sketch on a napkin. They believed when it was just an idea in a notebook. They believed when people told them it would never work. They believed when they had no money, no resources, and no backing. And that belief carried them through. That belief sustained them. That belief fueled their grind when motivation ran out. Because belief isn't just about hope. It's about commitment. It's about trusting the process even when the results aren't showing. It's about waking up early, staying up late, putting in the work and pushing through pain. Not because someone told you to, but because you believe in what you're building. It's about holding on to the vision so tightly that nothing and no one can rip it out of your hands. That's real belief. The danger in needing others to believe in you is that you become dependent on their energy. You start to rely on their words to fuel your fire. And when they don't say what you need to hear, your confidence crumbles. But when your belief is independent, when it's self-generated, you become unstoppable. You don't need a crowd. You don't need applause. You don't need approval. You move with certainty because you know who you are and you know what you're called to do. Understand this, not everyone will get it. Not everyone will understand your journey. Some people will question you. Some will doubt you. Some will try to discourage you. Some will try to discourage you, and that's okay. That's part of the process. The higher you go, the lonelier the path becomes. Not because people are bad, but because your vision is too big for small minds. Your calling is too unique for average conversation. Your potential is too explosive to be confined by someone else's limited thinking. So stop looking for agreement. Stop trying to convince people. Stop begging for support. Stop waiting for others to catch up. Start moving in the direction of your dream like it's already done. Start acting like the person you're becoming. Start believing in yourself like your life depends on it, because it does. When you believe in yourself, something powerful happens. You stop playing small. You stop settling. You stop tolerating less. You walk into rooms with confidence. You take risks. You bet on yourself. You push past fear. And slowly your life begins to align with your belief. Opportunities start to open up. Doors begin to swing wide. People begin to take notice, not because you waited for them, but because you moved without them. That's what faith in yourself looks like. It looks like putting one foot in front of the other, even when the path isn't clear. It looks like showing up day after day, even when no one is watching. It looks like building your dream brick by brick, even when no one offers their help. It looks like becoming your own motivation, your own coach, your own inspiration. And let's be real, it's not always easy. Some days you'll feel tired, some days you'll feel alone. Some days you'll question whether it's all worth it. But those are the days you dig deep. Those are the days you remind yourself why you started. Those are the days you say, I've come too far to give up now. Because belief doesn't just show up on the good day, it's forged in a struggle. That was my thought. It's built in the silence. It's proven in the pain. When you look back at your journey, it won't be the crowd you remember. It won't be the likes, the shares, or the comments. It'll be the moments you chose to keep going when you had every reason to quit. It'll be the nights you cried. It still showed up in the morning. It'll be the days you stood tall, even when you were broken inside. That's where belief lives. In the dark, in the grind, in the lonely hours when no one's watching but God. So believe in yourself fiercely. Believe in yourself relentlessly. Believe in yourself when you have nothing to show for it yet. Speak it, walk it, own it. Let your belief be so loud that it drowns out every voice of doubt. Let it be so strong that it intimidates your fear. Let it be so consistent that even the people who once doubted you start to ask how you did it. Because in the end, that's how legacies are built. Not by people who were surrounded by cheerleaders, but by those who learned how to cheer for themselves. Not by those who had an easy path, but by those who created their own lane. Not by those who were never doubted, but by those who believed anyway. Your belief in yourself is your greatest weapon. It's your secret sauce. It's the fuel for your fire. So protect it, nurture it, feed it daily. And most of all, never hand it over to someone else, because you don't need others to believe in you. Belief must be strong enough to carry you alone. And once it is, the world won't have a choice but to believe too. Believing doesn't mean wishing. It means acting every day like it's already yours. Too many people confuse belief with hope. They think believing in something is simply about having a good feeling or visualizing a better future. But real belief, the kind that changes lives, breaks chains, and builds empires, is not passive. It doesn't sit and wait. It moves. It speaks. It acts. Real belief is shown in what you do, not just what you feel. When you truly believe something is yours, you don't wait for permission. You don't keep asking a what if, or how long, or am I ready? You act like it's already in motion. You take steps toward it. You plan around it. You prioritize it. That's the difference between someone who dreams and someone who achieves. The dreamer sits and hopes. The believer moves and builds and moves and build big. Think about it. If you believe without a shadow of a doubt that you were going to be successful, truly successful, how would you live? Would you still waste time scrolling endlessly through your phone? Would you still sleeping every morning? Would you still hesitate on your goals? Just a fear. No. If you believe your breakthrough was guaranteed, your actions will reflect that confidence. You will move with urgency. You will protect your energy. You would invest in your future like it was already unfolding, because that's what belief does. It doesn't wait for evidence. It creates it. Wishing, on the other hand, is empty. Wishing is what you do when you're not committed. Wishing says, it would be nice if it happened. Believing says, it's already mine. Now I'm going to go get it. That's a mindset shift. That's what separates the average from the extraordinary. The ones who wish talk a lot but don't move. The ones who believe, they move in silence and let their results speak. And this applies to everything in life. Your health, your relationships, your goals, your spiritual growth. If you truly believe you can be fit and strong, you don't just talk about the gym. It can show up even when you're tired. You don't just buy supplements. You eat clean and stay consistent. If you believe you deserve love, you don't chase people who treat you like you're disposable. You set standards and walk away from anything less. If you believe you're meant to be a leader, you don't wait for a title. You lead right where you are, even if it's behind the scenes. Belief shows up in discipline. Belief shows up in your schedule. Belief shows up in your sacrifice. You can tell what someone really believes by looking at their daily habits. You can hear in the words they say when no one's listening. You can feel it in the way they carry themselves when no one's clapping. Real belief doesn't need an audience. It needs a decision. And here's the truth. Belief is tested most when nothing seems to be working. when your business isn't growing, when your platform isn't being noticed, when you've been working hard, but the results haven't shown up yet. That's when belief either dies or deepens. That's when you either fall back into wishing or rise up into action. See, anyone can believe when it's easy. Anyone can believe when it's popular. But the ones who rise are the ones who keep believing when it's lonely, when it's inconvenient, when the results are delayed. That's the belief that builds destiny. You gotta ask yourself, am I a wisher or a worker? Am I the kind of person who only believes when it feels good, or the kind who believes so deeply that I build through the pain? Belief without action is dead. It's wasted potential. It's lost opportunity. You weren't given a vision just to sit on it. You weren't created with gifts just to admire them in silence. You were meant to activate them. You were meant to move in them. And don't get it twisted. Acting on belief doesn't mean you won't be scared. It doesn't mean you won't be scared. It doesn't mean you'll always know exactly what to do. It just means you do it anyway. You take the risk. You make the call. You start the project. You apply for the job. You walk in the room. You open the business. You show up. Because that's what belief does. It moves first and figures it out along the way. Some of you are stuck not because you're incapable, but because you're waiting for a perfect moment. You're waiting until you're ready, until you're confident, until the fear goes away. But here's the secret. You'll never feel 100% ready. And that fear is not going anywhere until you move. The only way to overcome it is to act anyway. Because the more you act, the more confident you become. The more confident you become. The more you move, the stronger your belief grows. Believing like it's already yours means showing up like the person you're becoming. If you're building a business, act like a CEO. If you're training like an athlete, move like a champion. If you want to inspire others, speak with power now, not later. Stop waiting for the crown and start carrying yourself like royalty. The crown will catch up. Think about the farmer who plants seeds. He doesn't see fruit the next day, but he believes the harvest is coming. So he waters, he waits, he works, he protects the soil. That's belief in motion. He doesn't dig the seed up every morning wondering if it's working. He trusts the process. He trusts that his action will lead to results. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually. And that's how belief works. It's not loud. It's not always glamorous, but it's consistent, it's committed. You need to wake up every day with the mindset that says, I'm not just dreaming, I'm doing. I'm not just hoping, I'm hustling. I'm not just waiting, I'm walking toward it, even slow, even if it's hard, even if no one understands. Because belief isn't about the finish line, it's about the journey. It's about becoming. It's about stepping into the identity that matches the dream. And hear this, when you start acting like it's already yours, life starts responding. Opportunities begin to show up. People begin to notice. Doors begin to open. Not because something magically changed, but because you changed. Your energy shifted. Your posture elevated. Your mindset aligned with your mission. And the universe, God, whatever you believe in, it starts matching your faith. But none of that happens without movement. None of that happens without a decision. None of that happens if you keep treating belief like it's just a feeling instead of a commitment. So today, make the shift. Move like the victory is already yours. Speak like the breakthrough is already done. Work like the result is guaranteed. Because the only thing standing between you and it is action rooted in belief. So don't just wish. Don't just talk. Don't just plan. Don't just plan. Move, build, execute, trust, sacrifice, be the living proof of belief in action looks like. Because at the end of the day, the world doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to warriors who act like what they believe is already theirs. Self-belief turns setbacks into comebacks. Your mindset decides your bounce back. Life is not a straight line. It's a journey filled with ups, downs, twists, turns, disappointments, and detours. And no matter who you are or how talented you may be, you're going to face setbacks. That's just a part of the process. But what separates those who stay down from those who rise again is not talent, not money, not luck. It's belief. When you truly believe in yourself, setbacks are not the end. They're simply a setup for a greater comeback. You have to understand something. A setback is never just about the situation. It's about how you respond. It's about what happens inside of you when everything around you starts falling apart. Some people fold. They let failure define them. They start to believe the lie that they're not enough, that they'll never make it, that they were never meant for more. But others, those with unshakable belief, they use the setback as fuel. They let the pain shape their purpose. They stand back up stronger, wiser, hungrier. That's the power of self-belief. It's easy to believe when everything's going right. When the money's flowing, the doors are opening, and people are cheering you on. But belief is tested in the fire. Belief is tested when the deal falls through, when the relationship ends, when the plan doesn't work. When the world tells you a no, that's when you discover what you're made of. And if your belief is real, if it's rooted deep, you bounce back every time. You see, your bounce back doesn't begin with circumstances changing. It begins with a mindset shift. It starts when you say, I may be down, but I'm not done. It starts when you remind yourself who you are and what you're capable of. Because the truth is, the setback isn't your problem. The way you see it is. If you look at it as a failure, you'll act like a failure. But if you see it as a lesson, a challenge, a temporary pause, you'll use it to grow. Think of some of the greatest comebacks in history. People who lost everything, people who were counted out, people who hit rock bottom. They didn't stay there. Why? They didn't stay there. Why? Because they believed. They believed that their story wasn't over. They believed that greatness was still possible. And that belief gave them the strength to fight when everyone else would have quit. You've got to stop letting failure. You've got to stop letting failure speak louder than your faith. Stop letting the voices of doubt drown out the voice of destiny inside you. You've come too far to let one moment, one mistake, one loss keep you stuck. Yes, you might have been knocked down. Yes, you might have made a made. Yes, things didn't go the way you planned. But that doesn't mean you're finished. It means you're being shaped. It means you're being refined. It means there's something greater ahead. If you're willing to get back up and go after it. And let me be real. The bounce back isn't always fast. It's not always flash. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's slow. Sometimes it's just getting out of bed when everything in you wants to give up. Sometimes it's taking one small step forward in a season where it feels like nothing's working. But every little step counts. Every act of courage matters. Every moment you choose to believe again is a part of your comeback. You've got to protect your belief in these seasons. Because when you're down, doubt will try to take over. Fear will try to get loud. Shame will try to convince you that you're disqualified. That's when you got to fight. You've got to speak life over yourself. You've got to feed your faith. You've got to remember your why. You've got to dig deep and say, I'm not staying here. I was made for more than this. And here's the thing. Every time you bounce back, you get stronger. Every time you overcome a setback, you build resilience. You become more dangerous to anything that tries to stop you. You become more focused, more disciplined, more intentional. You start to walk different, carry yourself with a quiet power that says, been through the fire and I'm still standing. Self-belief is your anchor. It's what keeps you grounded when the storm hits. It's what reminds you that failure is not your identity. It's just an event. And no event has the power to define your destiny unless you give it permission. You got to take the pen back and start rewriting your story. You got to stop reliving the failure and start reimagining your future. The comeback starts when you start believing again. When you stop waiting for someone else to rescue you and realize the power is already inside you. You've got everything you need. You've got the experience, the lessons, the fire. You've already survived the worst. Now it's time to thrive. It's time to use what hurt you to heal you. To let the fall push you higher, to let the rejection refine your vision, to let the loss lead you to something greater. It's not about how hard you fall. It's about how committed you are to rising. Every person you admire has a bounce back story. They've all been through something, they've all failed, but they didn't let the failure keep them down. They didn't let the pain turn into paralysis. They didn't let the disappointment turn into defeat. They believed. They decided to fight for their future, even when the past tried to hold them hostage. And you can too. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need belief. Belief that your story isn't over. Belief that your best days are ahead. Belief that your purpose still matters. And belief that no matter what happened to you, it didn't destroy you. It developed you. It gave you strength. It gave you insight. It gave you the testimony that's going to help someone else someday. So rise, even if it's slow, even if it's messy, even if it hurts. Just rise. Bounce back with power. Bounce back with purpose. Bounce back with vision. And let the world watch as you turn what was meant to break you into the very thing that builds you. Because at the end of the day, it's not your setbacks that define you, it's your bounce back. It's your response. It's your resilience. And if you keep believing, if you keep rising, if you keep fighting, your comeback will be greater than your setback. Every time. Belief becomes a shield and a weapon when life throws its hardest challenges at us. It's not just something we carry for when things are good. It's something we hold on to when the world tries to break us. When everything around you seems to fall apart, when friends disappear, when money runs out, when your health fades, when doors slam in your face, belief is what keeps you standing. Belief tells you you are not done yet. Belief says you still got this. It's in those darkest nights where belief becomes the only light guiding you forward. Every great success story has a chapter where everything looks like it was going to fall apart. But those who made it didn't make it because they had money, fame, or connections. They made it because they believed. They believed when nobody else did. They believed when it didn't make sense. They believed when every sign pointed to failure. That belief created an energy that couldn't be stopped. Because when you believe in yourself, even pain becomes fuel. Struggles become a part of the process. Setbacks become setups for something greater. You have to be willing to walk alone sometimes, just holding on to your belief like it's the last bit of fire in the freezing cold. You might be surrounded by people who don't see what you see, who mock your dreams, who tell you to be realistic. But being realistic has never changed the world. It's the believers, the crazy ones, the passionate ones, the ones who saw something inside when the outside didn't match. That turned the impossible into reality. Belief builds resilience. You don't build mental toughness just by hoping things work out. You build it by believing they will and continuing to move forward when they don't. That's when you show the world who you are. That's when you show yourself who you are. Life will test you. Life will put you on your knees. But belief says, get up. Belief reminds you of your purpose when your vision is blurry. Belief gives you energy when your body is tired. Belief keeps your heart beating strong when your mind is filled with doubt. Look at the people you admire, the people who have done the impossible. You'll find a pattern. They believe. Oprah, she was told she wasn't good enough for television. Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team. Steve Jobs, fired from his own company. Thomas Edison, told he was too stupid to learn anything, but they didn't listen to the world. They listened to the voice inside that whisper, you were made for more. And that whisper turned into a roar. That roar changed the game. You've got to tap into that inner voice. Block out the noise from the outside and get in tune with the power within. Your belief has to be louder than your fear. Your belief has to be louder than the criticism. Your belief has to be louder than the doubt in your own head. That's where greatness is born, not in comfort, not in applause, but in that silent war inside you where you choose faith over fear. And listen, it won't be easy. You will cry. You will want to quit. You will question your path. That's not weakness, that's life. But belief doesn't mean you're never afraid. It means you act in spite of fear. It means you show up when it's hard. It means you take the shot even if you miss. Because every time you do, you grow. Every time you act on belief, you strengthen your character. You build the kind of mindset that doesn't break under pressure. Some people wait until everything is perfect to believe, but that's not belief. That's convenience. Real belief is raw as messy. It's you saying, I don't have all the answers, but I know I'm not finished yet. Real belief comes from the fire inside. And when you walk with that fire, others will feel it. Some will doubt you. Some will laugh. But some will be inspired. Your belief will spark belief in others. You'll become proof that anything is possible. So today, right now, you have a choice. You can shrink back and listen to fear, or you can stand up and feed your belief. You can choose to focus on what's missing, or you can focus on what's possible. You can be driven by doubt, or you can be led by faith. Every single day, you decide what voice wins. And that decision, that shapes your destiny. Your journey may be tough. You may be walking through storms right now, but don't forget who you are. Don't forget how far you come. Don't forget how many times you survived what should have broken you. You're still here. That's not by accident, that's purpose. That's power. That's proof that there's more for you to do. Keep going, keep fighting, keep believing. And when the weight gets heavy, remind yourself why you started. Think about the people counting on you. Think about the version of yourself you're becoming. Don't let fear win. Don't let the past define your future. You've got something inside that the world needs. But the world will never see it if you don't believe it first. Before the money, before the results, before the breakthrough, it starts with belief. This isn't about motivation for today. This is about transformation for life. This is about waking up every morning and saying, I don't care what happened yesterday. I believe in what's possible today. It's about standing in front of that mirror and saying, I am enough. I am enough. I am capable. I will win. And then going out and putting in the work that backs that belief. Because belief without work is fantasy. But belief with action, that's unstoppable. That's legacy. That's purpose on fire. So if you're tired, rest. So don't quit. If you're scared, breathe, but don't freeze. If you're doubting, pray, but don't stop moving. Because the most powerful force in your life isn't what you've been through. It's what you believe about where you're going. And as long as you keep believing, you're never out of the fight. At the end of the day, everything you want, everything you're chasing, everything you dream about, it all begins and ends with belief. Not belief that's borrowed, not belief that's conditional, but belief that is rooted deep within you. A belief that stands tall when everything else is falling apart. A belief that says, I may not be there yet, but I will be. I may not have it all, but I have enough to start. That's the belief that changes everything. You don't need to wait for someone to validate your dream. You don't need a perfect background, or a long list of supporters, or a crowd cheering your name. You need your own voice in your own voice in your own head saying, I got this. I believe in myself. I will not stop. Because the moment you start believing in yourself, truly, unapologetically, the world starts to shift around you. Opportunities begin to open. Strength you didn't know you had begins to rise. Clarity begins to show up. Not because things got easier, but because you got stronger. The truth is, the people who make it, the ones who rise, the ones who change the game, they're not always the smartest or the most talented. They're the ones who refuse to stop believing. They're the ones who kept pushing through doubt, through silence, through failure, through fear. And that can be you. That will be you. If you decide right now that no matter what happens, you will stand on your own 2 feet and believe in the fire burning inside you. Don't let your current situation trick you into thinking your future isn't bright. Don't let the opinions of others become the definition of who you are. And don't you dare wait one more second for someone else to tell you what you already know in your heart, that you are more than enough, that you have what it takes, and that you are worthy of everything good coming your way. So speak life into your dreams, breathe faith into your goals, and walk boldly in the direction of the person you were created to become. Every step, every sacrifice, every setback is preparing you. And the bridge between where you are and where you're going is your belief. Hold on to it. Fight for it. Protect it. Because your self-belief is not just a mindset. It's your greatest weapon. And once you activate it, there's nothing in this world that can hold you back. Believe that. Believe in you. And never let go.